Hello and welcome to my channel, She Speaks To. Please like, comment, subscribe. Today we're going to be reviewing I May Destroy You episode 9, and this episode for me was all about the death of ego. We're going to talk about the friend circle first with Arabella, Terry, and Kwame. In every friend circle there's always one friend who's not necessarily the bully. However, this friend is more influential. People tend not to speak up. During an argument, for some reason people back down. This friend is the more powerful one in the group, and it seems that Arabella is that friend. We see her friends not wanting to definitely speak their piece. So I noticed that. Another thing I noticed is Arabella's roommate. I'm not sure what he represents right now. A lot of people are saying he gives off a creepy feeling, and I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if he's meant to be the voice of calm. He's always calm, he's always peaceful, he's always blocking out the noise. In that episode where it was Terry's birthday, he was in his room in the midst of this party with headphones on. He seems really unaffected with what's going on. But I do know a lot of people have said, oh, he gives me an eerie feeling. I'm not sure what he represents yet. We're just trying to pay attention and catch little things here and there. So the episode opens with Arabella sitting on her bed. And as she sits on her bed, if you look quickly, there are trash bags under her bed. She's sitting there just staring off. So she's literally sitting on her trauma, not opening it up, not delving into it. And she's having flashbacks of the assault. And now the faces are of different Caucasian men assaulting her. And as she's having this flashback, guess who just happens to be in the doorway is her roommate Ben, who is a white guy. So he's like, hey, you okay? And she's like, yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. And he comes back, happy Halloween. She turns to him and says, happy Halloween. And there is a look that she gave that was like of annoyance. Then she gets on there, and now we know why. She's talking about how she's sick of white men and they're whining. They want this day. She said they have all these days dedicated to them. So let's have Gay Pride Day, Women's Day, because every other day is dedicated to white men, and she's just tired of their whining. She's quite angry. She's become some kind of internet vigilante, as we can see. People are messaging her. She's the face of a movement. So that's what's happening right there with Arabella. They cut to her going to the doctor's office. CT scan is good, in the midst of the doctor telling her that she has to get on social media to let her followers know her brain is good for all those men who are questioning her sanity. She has a good CT. She's going to continue. And this is in the midst of the doctor's office. Terry is a little bit annoyed, but she's not annoyed once that camera's on her. Hey, this is Terry. She perks up as soon as that camera's on her. The doctor says, people of Afro-Caribbean descent, your blood pressure is kind of high, but with people of Afro-Caribbean descent, you need to be careful because you're predisposed to kidney disease. And she gets him all the way together. She lets him know that she is not of Caribbean descent. She is African, which I have to stand with her on that. It's, people go to Europe, they'll tell you, I'm going to France, I'm going to Italy, then we might go to Norway. And then when you hear of Africa, they want to make Africa this big country. And so that is a universal thing of just lumping all Black people together without getting to know their distinctions. She said there's a unity and a distinction with African and Caribbeans. Yes, there's a unity, we're Black, but there is a very big distinction too. So she got them together. Doctor was in shock. Then Terry says, why would her blood pressure be high? And they cut to Arabella. She's out there taking pictures, kneeling down, doing all kind of stuff. Doctor says, does she smoke? Terry says no, but she does vape, and he was about to say she needs to stop. Then Terry checked the doctor, said what she does on social media will kill her first before any vape will, because of the stress of supporting so many victims and having been assaulted twice. So they got that doctor together. I don't think that was a very good day for him going into work. So then they're waiting outside of a costume store. Terry comes and she's getting their costumes. Kwame is looking at a video of two people having sex, and Arabella's like, why are you watching that? He says because he's interested in one of them. As they're walking away, a guy comes out of the store and he's like, can I talk to you? You have been so supportive. I follow you on social media. It is so hard for a Black man to talk about his assault. And you see Kwame roll his eyes, walk off to Terry, and you don't know if he is jealous of Arabella, the fact that she's gotten so much sympathy, or if he's upset because he's her friend. He has gone through that trauma, and I don't know if she has put some of that energy in helping him, who's directly in front of her, as opposed to being this mass social media leader. So it is a little hypocritical that it's like charity begins at home. You can't be that pastor preaching about adultery and this and that when you have that going on in your own home. So that's it. So I think, I don't know why he was upset, jealous of the fact that he didn't get the attention, or just mad at the fact that it's a little hypocritical that you're the face of this movement and you have me as a friend who's been assaulted. So what happened next? Hold on just a second. They go to they're dressed up in their costumes. Terry is an angel. Kwame is some kind of angel. He looks so cute, by the way, with the wig and everything. Terry's an angel, and Arabella is some kind of dark angel. However, she has horns. They go to paint, and once again, she gets on her phone, and Terry's like, no phones. However, once again, when she turns that camera on to Terry, Terry is smiling. This is Terry Bradshaw, or whatever her name is, and but once the camera's on her, she perks up real quick. She likes the attention. So she says, Kwame, tell me more about that racist bee. So Kwame has painted this story to Terry of Nullifer, the white lady he was with, as being racist. And we know that she didn't come across as racist. She was definitely disrespectful to gay men or gay people, using the F word, but racist is not what I think a lot of us got from that. So he has demonized her in an attempt to make himself feel better for what he did. And what he did was wrong. He had sex with her under false pretenses. So when Arabella gets wind of the fact that he did this, she goes off on him. And they walk outside of the paint room, and she goes off on him, and Kwame is stumbling with his words. He can't get the words out. And Terry was like, he feels he feels horrible. And she's like, well, he should. I would be horrified if he didn't feel bad about what he did. And then Terry said, Terry said he made a mistake. Arabella said, that is not a mistake. It's narcissistic. She goes off on this rampage. And Terry said, well, you made a mistake when you locked him in that room with another guy. So Arabella goes to Kwame and says, is that true? Kwame, this is a time to speak up. Say, Arabella, when you did that to me, you traumatized me again. He says, I can't remember. It's like she's that powerful friend. I mean, she's just checking Terry left and right, Kwame left and right, telling Terry to shut the F up. You shouldn't be concluding sentences because you haven't been assaulted. You should be listening. And I mean, there is no comeback. Everyone is just letting Arabella go on this rampage. Her ego has been so inflated because of her following that it's black or white. You're either a victim or you're a perpetrator. There's no in between. And at this point, Kwame is a perpetrator. And so she goes up to Kwame, is this true? Did I make you feel bad? Because it's one of those things where the person says, well, I think I've been a good friend and I don't think I've done anything to you. So what is your problem? And if they say all that, you're like, we're really not going to get anywhere. So why should I even say anything? So Kwame backs down. He says he can't remember. And so it just ends bad, and Arabella leaves. Arabella leaves, and she's on this social media rampage. She's talking, and first, before that even starts, a guy says, oh, I like your horn. She tells him, like, because your opinion you just have to state it out loud. It just means that much. So she is just on a rampage. She's obnoxious with it at this point. And so as she's doing this, she's getting likes, but then people are saying you need therapy. Some other people are saying you were just jealous of Zane's career. So she's getting good and bad. She's just opening the floodgates. And at a certain point, it starts to sound like a video game. It's like a short circuit. And finally, she just breaks down, and we find her with her counselor. And she's telling her counselor how she didn't know Kwame was this type of person. Had she known, she wouldn't have had that type of person around her. And her counselor was like, the thing with social media is that it programs you to speak but not listen. So basically, probably need to listen to your friend or slow down. The counselor draws puts an A on the paper and puts a line and then puts an X, says, Arabella, you sit up here, and then you have a line that you put everything else here, and you use that to deflect from the real issue. So she's talking to Arabella about that. Arabella takes that line and connects it to the A, meaning that she is going to explore these things and maybe not deflect, but with a question mark. How is this going to turn out? So another thing, she tells the counselor that she did get her belongings back from the police station. The investigation is concluded, and the counselor says, well, how did you feel when you went through your stuff? And she admits that she hasn't even gone through her stuff. She hasn't even taken those items out. Even if you take them out to trash them, or you take them out, but you can't just stuff them under your bed. And that is symbolic of just stuffing your feelings. Being this internet vigilante deflects from the fact that you need to deal with the feelings, your real feelings. So Arabella goes home, and she is reaching under her bed to get things. Once again, the roommate comes, hey, what are you doing? So he just pops up in these weird ways. So I'm trying to figure out, is he the voice of calm? What does he represent? So if anyone has any ideas, a lot of people have said he creeps them out. They think that he's sinister. I don't know. And so she said, I'm just getting the investigation stuff from under my bed. And he looks around. He says, you have a lot of stuff. And then she pulls out a little package, and it is from her having an abortion at 10 weeks. And even if you're pro-life or pro-choice, having an abortion is not something women are typically proud of. It's usually the result of a mistake, an error, not wanting to keep the baby. So either if you're pro-life, pro-choice, it's a mistake. It affects everyone deeply. So this is something she's probably not proud of. And as she pulls it out, Ben, the roommate, says, sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. And then she sees herself sitting on the couch, being that same judgmental person she was with Kwame. And she says, well, if you didn't feel bad, I would be horrified. And when you paint yourself out to be the victim, that's not very good. And so her own words are coming back to her. And it's like that realization hits her. All of a sudden, Terry comes in, and she's like, where's Kwame? Kwame is, Terry says he didn't know if you wanted him here. She walks out, and Kwame said, I can leave if you don't want me here. And she apologizes. She said, that day that I did that to you, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. And he says, no big deal. And I like that friend. He says, no big deal. They hug, say, I love you. Arabella comes back in the room, and Ben says, okay, well, I'm gonna leave. And her and Terry unpack the things. I don't know why my voice got lower, and she unpacked the thing. So her and Terry come back, and they unpack the belongings. And Terry's like, what do you need? Terry's like, let's get some self-help again. And she's like, what do you need? And Arabella says, just to go on a walk. And she walks to the bar. It's a long walk, because in episode 2, we find out it was like 45 minutes from her apartment. It's a long walk, and it's cold. And they go to Ego Death Bar, and she looks in there. And first I thought she would break down, but then she sits. And she's staring in there, and all of a sudden she gives this look, and you see the fangs, and I don't know what that represents. I don't know if this means she's going out for her own justice, or if she's going to return. So I'm not sure. This was a very hard episode to review. There was a lot of dialogue, not too much action. So it was kind of difficult to review. Also, I do have to say, a lot of us do not or did not like Terry. But I am seeing a soft spot for her. She did tell Simon to leave Arabella. We're aware that she was wrong for that. Women, we don't tell people to leave our friends, but she was not the cause. She did not know that would happen to her friend. Of course not. She is the glue with the friendships and the peacemaker with Kwame and Arabella. She means well. She's flawed, but she is a good friend. I wish that she would tell Arabella the news of the secret that she's been keeping, and so they can process and work through that. So I'm beginning to not dislike her as much as I did. And so that is the review. Like I said, this was a hard episode. There was a lot of dialogue, things to keep up with. But I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, if I missed anything, and I will see you next week. Thank you.